Hello, my YouTube world. Johnny Mo coming to you today with a video. And in this video, we're going to talk about some instances about being solo or having a crew. And I was reminded of a post that I put on Lawn Sight many years ago where I gave this guy advice: if you really want to make money in this business, you're going to have employees. And now that I'm solo again, I can tell you that statement is still true then as it is today. If you're going to have a $200,000 business, $250,000, $500,000 business, or even $1 million business, you're going to have employees. You're not going to be, I don't want to give you the fact like, oh, solo, you can make. Listen, if you're pumping out $100,000 a year being solo, you're doing really, really well. And generally, you have to have a winter income like snow plowing, or you have to have some years in business where you've got really route density. And I mean, you walk into a neighborhood, you bust out 8, you go to another one, you bust out another 8. Is that possible? Absolutely. Very hard to do. Very few do it. Most lie on YouTube and most lie on the forums. They tell you they're bigger than what they are, or, just, it's crazy. If you're going to have a big business, you're going to have employees. Having employees, going to come some issues. And this is the truth. I just couldn't do it. I failed at that aspect of the business. Absolutely. I thought I had great systems. I had employee handbooks. I had a benefit package book. I paid well. I paid upper. What I did is I asked for the forums who in town who were foremans, and I asked about what their rate was, what they were going, and I was right in with the top 3. I was right in the mix of them, and I paid time and a half overtime. It didn't work. My personality, having to rely on people, it's a very big thing. You go out to the driveway at 8:30 in the morning and there's no one there, and you're supposed to start at 8:30, and you're ready to go. Come on. I was out here 7 o'clock. I got everything ready. Let's go. Come on, let's go. And there's no one there. Then you get a text, hey, I'm running behind. Okay. You start the day off behind, or it's a very tough thing to deal with, and you have to have the right personality trait. I read all the books. I listened to the people who had systems in place. There's a couple aspects in my business that most people will not talk to you about. And they're going through it right now. Those same people that are giving you advice, and we got systems, we're doing this, and we're doing it. Here's some of the trouble that I had. First of all, keeping employees. I went through a lot of employees, just constant, just always constant. Like, get this one trained, they leave. Get this one trained, they leave. And in this day and generation, most people don't want to do the Johnny Mo salute. Johnny Mo salute is wiping the sweat off your forehead. That's the Johnny Mo salute from way back. For those who've been here for a while, you'll know what I mean when I say Johnny Mo salute. Just give me a little Johnny Mo salute down in the comments. Give me a little head wipe. Most kids today do not want to sweat. They do not want to work that hard. It's a very hard business. So employees, the number one issue you're going to have. Paying the taxes on matching, Medicare, matching the Social Security, and paying the unemployment. Those are every quarter. Those got to go in. That's a huge dollar amount. Now, having said that, here's another side of the business that I didn't catch quick enough, and I'm going to admit to you right up front, I failed in this aspect, and there could have been many reasons why I failed. But looking back, 2020, hindsight's always 21. This is an area that I really failed at. Here it is. Zero-turn equipments purchase. Now, when we were really going at it, we always had one main mower and a secondary mower. So this mower did the majority of the mowing, and then whatever was left, this mower did. This main mower was putting about 900 hours a year on it. That mower, so within 2 years, it had 1,800 hours on it, and that second year is when problems really started to occur. Things started to wear out. Clutches, clutch $300. Your spindles start to wear out. New belts. I mean, even the belts cost over $130 now. The belts would wear. The main thing was the hydraulic pumps, and it could have been because I was bagging, I'm not sure about that. Or it could have been that I didn't have the best made mower. I'm not sure. Like, once I got big and I realized I was buying mowers just about every 2 years, I started to go to a little bit of cheaper brand because I didn't want to spend over $10,000 for a mower. And I was running Toro Z Master series, like the 500. Back then it was Z500, I think it was. But around the 1,200 hour mark, 700, 800 hour mark, I was replacing one pump. 400 hours later, replace another pump. And then 400 hours. It was like every 400 hour, 800 hours, boom, this pump, this pump. It was just going back and forth. And I just decided, and then when I went to go buy a new Toro, because I was happy with it, it was over $10,000, like $12,000 now. So I went and found another brand. I tried to buy an Exmark. I thought, maybe it's Toro's getting cheap. I bought an Exmark, put 75 hours on it. I sold it, got rid of it, took it back to the dealer, $800 loss. I mean, I put 75 hours on it so fast. Within 3 weeks, it was just back at the dealer. It was just done. I was done with it. The deck was a Triton deck. I blew a pump out of it already, and the Kohler engine, I think, was a 27, and it was smoking. I was done. As a matter of fact, the person who bought the mower right after me actually blew the engine within a week. So I got rid of it, took an $800 loss, and then I went to Ferris. And I liked the ride of the Ferris, but around the 12, 13, 1400 hours, the pumps, I ended up putting over 4,000 hours on that Ferris, but I had replaced those pumps so many times. I had to weld the back part of the deck, where the shock contacts the deck part of it, and I had to weld that reinforce that little thing that came over it, kept that plate. I welded out like 4 times, spindles, blades, I can't tell you how many clutches I put in it. But here's the part that I screwed up. So I really liked the Ferris. It was the main mower for probably about 3 years. And then it became the secondary mower. And then it just got to the point where it just couldn't make it through a day. So I got rid of it. So after the Toro, the Ferris, I'm going to stick with Ferris. So I ended up going back to Ferris. And then Ferris, the 2100 ended up almost $10,000. I'm like, so I went to Snapper Pro. And the Snapper Pro, boom, 1,800 hours, just 900, boom, right away. And I don't know if maybe the mowers, maybe that's where they start breaking down the most, or we were really running them hard. It seemed like every 2 years I needed to have a new mower. And here's the part. You'd get 4 years 1.9 or 3 years 0%. Now everything's just about 0%, but back then it was 1.9. So I'd get a mower and I wasn't even done paying it off, and I needed another one because the main mower couldn't be in the shop, even if it was twice a year. If it was a hydro pump or whatever it was, it just seemed like always something. So I ended up buying another one. Then that one would go to the secondary mower, but I had 4 0 turns and 2 of them wasn't paid off, and I needed another one. I just couldn't it was constant. And then your trucks, you're putting so many, then this truck had to go in the shop to get fixed. And now you got to stop doing this landscape because this truck. So what do you tell? I need 3 trucks now? I needed 2 on the road and 1 then you have all this equipment, all this maintenance, and it was just like, it got so overwhelming. It was like, are you going to get ahead? That's the truth. That's what happened. I was a rat on the wheel going like, finally I sold a whole bunch of equipment, paid some of it off, and then this year we finally got everything. Last month I just paid a lot of stuff off. So I'm finally, from that mess of having 2 crews going out, I finally paid off all the mowers. I finally paid off all of it. And I took some winter money, and it was just so weird, finally. And now, what's great about being solo for me right now is, for at least this season, I can just work 4 days a week and pay my monthly bills because everything's done. It's so awesome. And that's where I wanted to be. I do not want to work Saturdays and Sundays anymore. I'm done. I'm done. you know what I mean? Just it's over. When you see my setup, you're gonna see how I downsized. I paid off so much stuff. You know, all those old mowers that had tons of hours, I finally paid them all off. And you're like, well, Johnny, you should have been making so much money that it's just rolling in and you got it together. Listen, I thought I had it together, but I was acquiring so many bills. This mower wasn't paid off, but I needed a new mower. You know, it was just constant. And then, you know, finally I just sold it all. Last year I started the process, end of 2015. I said by 2017, I'm done. I don't want to be, I'm out of the rat race. I'm done. I'm done being that guy. So that was my hardest thing is these zero-turn mowers. I just felt that they weren't making them to last long enough. And I know there's going to be guys on here. I know. They'll make videos. They'll do big, huge posts about, well, I had a mower that last me 5,000 hours, and I've had it 7 years. That's great. I was putting 900 hours a year on a mower in 1 year. I want you to think about how much mowing. I mean, there's a lot of, maybe it was the brand I bought. Maybe, I don't know. You know, that I went on a search to try to find a mower that, you know, because I understand the bagging heats, the baggers with the weight heat up those pumps. They're not really made for it. And it stretches. Like I went on Hydro Gear to find out what the tolerances were for those pumps. And I realized that the baggers weighted down actually exceeded what those pumps could really take. And I'm like, well, this is great because you buy accessories to put on your mower, but your hydros can't even take the weight of it. So you're pushing them. And I get it. But it's the stuff that no one talks to you about. You know, you got a 10-year-old truck. You're going to have issues. You're going to have rust issues, transmission issues. Then you need a plow. Then you need a backup plow. Then you need backup soliders. And you got all this stuff. It all takes money. It all takes money to maintain it all. My maintenance bill on this stuff was, I mean, think about it. I change my transmission fluid and filter every single year. Oils every 3,000. Think about that. All that maintaining, hydraulic oil in all my motors gets changed every year. It can go 500 hours. Listen, if you got a bagger on that and you're letting it go 500 hours, I promise you're not going to have a pump. Trust me, I was going through pumps every 800 hours, right on the, like, it was like clockwork. And between employees and equipment cost, I was just drowning. We were pumping out so much work. I had money in my pocket, but I have more money in my pocket now. And now that I've got these bills paid off, from those 5-6 years of 2 trucks and all that, it's all gone now. It's all paid off. My truck's paid off. Everything's paid off now. And it's like, it's done. I'm done with it. I'm not getting on that rat race. What did I accomplish? I didn't accomplish. And I know there's going to be people like, well, you just didn't do it right. Didn't know the equipment cost. Didn't know that. I knew my costs. At that time, when I had 2 trucks going out, it cost me $67 an hour. I knew I had to make $67 an hour to pay for that truck. So I knew what was going on. I was making the payments. I knew what I needed to do. It was just a rat race. Now the rat race is done. I'm done with all that. And, you know, you would try to get advice from different people, and everyone's fake. No one would ever tell you that they struggled with mowing, with the equipment costs. I had 2 mowers I was still making payments on, needed a 3rd mower. No one would ever tell you. They're like, oh yeah, we got it all together. We know, oh yeah. My equipment, I buy this brand of mowers. It's orange, it's red, it's black. They last 7,000 hours, and oh yeah. What they don't tell you is they put 100 hours a year on their mower. And that's what I got tired of. I got tired of listening to people. Like, there's people out there, they'll make videos about you. They'll post on Lawn Site. They'll post on all these forums, and your name comes up, and it's always, oh, he's an idiot. He's this. He's that. You think you know? You put 100 hours a year on your mower. 100 hours a year on your mower. That's 3 hours a week for 30 weeks, basically. And you're going to talk and teach people how to run a big business. And I understand there's new people, and there's people that are just starting. I get it. But you could put 100 hours a year on your mower. You know, I get it, but I'm not trying to knock that part. I'm just telling you, sometimes people are telling you what to do, but they have no clue what they're talking about. And then when someone calls them out on it, it's like, now everybody's offended. Well, guys, that's just my time. I hope that you found some real good value in here. I think, you know, seeing the struggles, that I went through. I think this is going to be a great video for you. Hope you enjoy. Next up, my 2017 setup series.